all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights.
For Dog Pound Incorporated, the biggest win, his first win. Gutierrez wins the Indianapolis 250.
We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high.
And your 2023 Haas IndyCar Series champion is Luna Lona in the 00.
After a thrilling race last week at the Auto Club Speedway, where we saw Zachary Fitzwater barely nab the win at just the last second over Chris Reynolds, we arrive here for our second race of our little California swing here in the Haas IndyCar Series at another track that unfortunately was not preserved in real life. It is well preserved here in NR, and we're preparing to have a great race at it here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third race of the 2024 Haas IndyCar Series season. We're here at the Riverside Raceway here in California for the running of In-N-Out Indy California. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to In-N-Out Indy California here at the Riverside International Raceway. Race number 3 of the 2024 Haas IndyCar Series season. And boy, this definitely has not been a season to forget so far. We've had 2 barnstormer races at Homestead and Auto Club, where we saw 2 really close finishes and great racing all around. But here we are at our first road course of the season. And boy, I don't really know if there's any better road course to open out our road course campaign other than Riverside International Raceway. Definitely a historic track here on the Haas IndyCar Series calendar, and a good one at that. And definitely not one to call alone. I'm joined up here in the booth. Welcome back, AG. Nice to see you up here in the Haas IndyCar booth again.
Yeah, and hey, you know what? It's been a couple of races. Last race that they called in the IndyCar Series was the finale last year when Zachary Fitzwater went to victory lane. Well, guess what? Fitzwater went to victory lane last week, and that's his second California 100 win. Definitely got to watch out for as the season rolls along. And I mean, you know, we got a new Mr. Edge maybe. Zachary Fitzwater winning that race by 4 1,000ths of a second last week. I don't think we'll see quite a finish like that here today, but hey, we've seen some close ones here before. This track has produced so many intense races, and that's why we always have this one early on in the season, usually the first road course of the year. And I'm excited to see how it all goes down here today. It's going to be a lot of fun, as it always is here at the Riverside International Raceway.
Oh, this is definitely going to be a blast, and going to be really interesting to see how definitely a lot of these newer drivers tackle this road course. It's definitely a very unique road course, and yeah, this is going to be a really fun one here today. Got 19 laps, so a relatively quicker race, but we still should see a cycle of pit stops, and that's where this race could get really interesting, especially with it happening a lot later in the going. But this is going to be a good one. But we'll get these guys rolling off here in just a moment from the Riverside International Raceway. Really quickly, we'll take a look at the car starting on the pole. It's a Durrani Racing front row lockout, with Thomas Truxell nabbing the pole position from his teammate starting on his outside pole, Chris Reynolds. Both of these guys definitely have a big chip on their shoulder after last week's race at Auto Club Speedway. Chris Reynolds losing the race by pretty much almost nothing, and Thomas Truxell unfortunately got put out of contention with a bad strategy call. So I know both of these guys are definitely looking for a good run here today, but hey, we'll get these guys rolling here at the Riverside International Raceway, and as they do, we'll take a look at your starting lineup here for In-N-Out Indy California. As aforementioned, starting on pole, it's the 52 of Thomas Truxell, starting alongside his teammate, the 73 of Chris Reynolds. Row number 2, we find the 27 of Ace Garcia, starting alongside the 54 of Bradley Bradshaw. Row number 3, we find the 38 of Logan Williams, starting alongside reigning champion, the 16 of Luna Lona. Row 4, we find the 20 of Avery Alford, starting alongside the 34 of Brendan Wilmington. And rounding out your top 10, we find the 41 of Angel Olvera, starting alongside the number 98 of Jay Knapp. But the rest of the starting lineup will be displayed on the left-hand side of your screen, as well as the race report and previous winners. But AG, I'll ask you, who do you think is going to be the one to end up in victory lane here today at the Riverside International Raceway?
Well, she won the championship last year, and you know what? She's in a great starting position here. That fourth starting position is maybe the best place to start here, Riverside, outside the outside pole. That inside lane doesn't get the advantage at the start because the first turn is a left-hander, so watch out for Luna Lona. They are in that machine there for Velocity Racing. They're going to be really strong this year, and we'll have to see what she can pull off there, starting from the 6th position.
Definitely want to watch out for the reigning champion, having a pretty up and down season so far. Currently sitting in 15th in points, but lost a lot of spots after last week at California after getting into an accident with Jay Knapp. But definitely, honestly, both of these cars are definitely ones to watch out for. Scuderia Team Velocity, one of the brand new teams this season, and boy, they have started their year out with a bang. Bradley Bradshaw winning at Homestead and currently leading the points. Luna looking fast week in, week out. This is definitely a team to watch out for. But Riverside International Raceway, very unique track, has a lot of different challenges in itself to tackle. Of course, you got the starting the race, you got the initial left-hander, and then you got the sweeping S's going up to the nearly probably 90-degree right-hander. And then you go down the hill, you got this long straightaway, which we could see a lot of runs being generated, and that will lead into the final corner, this long sweeping right-hander with banking, I might add. So you're going to definitely see a lot of passing opportunities and a lot of action here today. It's going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. So strap in, get ready, and the pace car is getting ready to pull off into the pit lane. And it's going to be the Durrani Racing teammates, Thomas Truxell and Chris Reynolds, who's going to lead us to the green flag. We're racing here at the Riverside International Raceway. Going up into the right-hander for the first time, Chris Reynolds is going to nab the lead from his teammate Thomas Truxell there on the opening lap. Looks like everyone's going to keep it clean so far. As we come down to the long straightaway, Thomas Truxell now under fire from that 27 of Ace Garcia, but Chris Reynolds already opening up a pretty decent-sized gap to his teammate. And you can see all the side-by-side and the horde of cars behind these first few who've single-filed out just a little bit. But as I say that, Logan Williams going for a move on Luna Lona with a full head of steam with the draft from that straight, and it looks like he's going to get it. As we come to complete lap number 1, it's going to be Chris Reynolds leading at the line.
Yeah, and that outside lane, like I said, that's the place you want to be here, Riverside, because that's where the advantages are, and that 73 started on the outside pole, and now it's out front. You know, this is a car that almost won the Indy 250 last year, so you know Durrani Racing's got some good stuff. Heck, they won the Drivers' Championship with Trey Smith 2 years ago, so these guys know what they're doing, and they got two good drivers as well. Chris Reynolds, Thomas Truxell, two of the more successful drivers in the Haas IndyCar Series. But how about Ace Garcia on that start? He actually started third, kind of cut right down in the middle there, was able to keep his position, and I'd watch out for this 27. That might be a strong car here today.
Ace Garcia definitely looked fast last week at California, but unfortunately got taken out in a pretty spectacular accident, I must say, late in the going when Landon Smith Jr. got a little too excited and tried to send it in on him and didn't quite work out. But nice to see Ace Garcia having a good run here today. Not having the best of seasons so far here, currently 26th in points, and I'm sure as you definitely know, AG, he's not having the best of seasons over in the Wawa Cup Series either. So yeah, definitely nice to see him running good here, but starting to see a little bit of spread, but still got a bunch of cars going at it for position as somebody ran off a little bit. I think that was the 54 of Bradley Bradshaw, as now he's got Avery Alford right on his gearbox. Oh boy, for the race lead, Thomas Truxell's managed to catch back up to Chris Reynolds. And could we potentially see some Durrani Racing teammates going at it here for the race lead?
Good run for Troxel here. It is difficult to make a pass here, but it is very easy to do so at the same time as well, which is kind of hard, kind of odd to say about this racetrack. But, the best place to do it is that final turn right there. That bank turn, you got that inside lane to your advantage. If you can get a run going into that corner, which Troxel's not close enough right now to get it on his teammate. But that's where you get all the momentum, and that's where we can see some interesting finishes here at Riverside. And we might see Troxel really close in here on his teammate here on this lap. And you also got Logan Williams there on the gearbox of Ace Garcia as well, trying to get around on the outside.
Tried right there, but just didn't quite have enough room to get to the outside. He slots in back behind. Got some side-by-side back here. That's Braden Perez, Brennan Wilmington. Perez just barely going to keep it on the track there, and Perez is going to have the advantage here. He's going to sneak by. Here comes Bradley Bradshaw. Also going to try to take advantage, and he will get past the 34 of Wilmington. And you can pass about anywhere on this track as long as you time it right. But, oh boy, for the race lead, here comes Thomas Troxel. And even back here, they're fighting for third.
Look at that.
Boy.
Troxel's going to get this on Chris Reynolds because he's going to hold the inside into that last corner regardless, and Williams going to get around Ace Garcia right there. But how about Troxel? This is the kind of race, the guys that we've had win. Bradley Bradshaw is the development driver to J.R. Campbell, Zachary Fitzwater, and we're looking at Thomas Troxel here. It's a pretty solid group of guys going to victory lane so far here in this Haas IndyCar Series, and for it being an equal rating series, it's pretty solid for those guys to get it done. However, we're still very early on, only a quarter of the way through this race, and Thomas Troxel looking strong in that 52, but don't count out Logan Williams there trying to close in that 38 machine. Logan's been with this team a couple of years now, so they've developed a lot there at American Motorsports. Great to still see American Motorsports in the Haas IndyCar Series. They're not in the Cup Series anymore, but they're still here, so great to see what Trey Wright's pulling off with these guys, and Logan's having a solid run so far.
Yeah, that's definitely great to see out of Logan Williams. Definitely kind of looking, I guess, to get his reputation back with the team after what happened last week in California, accidentally taking his teammate out with him. But definitely nice to see him running good. Currently sitting in a podium position, but looks like we kind of have a top four breakaway between Troxel, Reynolds, Williams, and Ace Garcia. A little ways back, we have the 41 of Angel Olvera. Then Luna Lona, Braden Perez. Ooh, Perez has a big run. He might try to go for the sixth position on Lona here. He's going to do so. They're going to stay side by side out of the turn. And going into the left-hander, this is where Lona's going to have the advantage, but Perez, he's going to keep the elbows out. They're going to stay side by side going into the S's, and Braden Perez is going to clear the 16 of Luna Lona. Move Perez up into P6.
Very solid run for Braden Perez. This is, I was talking to you before we started recording, how a lot of these drivers here in the Haas IndyCar Series have been in multiple seasons. Braden Perez, I don't think he was in last season. I could be wrong about that, but regardless of the fact, he's had a good year driving for this new team, and he's looking pretty strong right here. The only downside, he's a little bit ways behind our race leaders now. He can still get strategy to work in his favor if he plays things correctly on the pit lane, and we've seen strategy come into effect in this race many times in the past. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case there for Braden Perez.
Yeah, definitely we'll have to see, and still got quite a bit of ways to go here in this race, but this is going to get interesting for second. Here comes Logan Williams. Logan Williams trying to make a move there on Chris Reynolds. Couldn't quite get it done there.
38 is fast.
Oh, yeah. Didn't get the move done there, but still right. He's right on the gearbox of Chris Reynolds. Still looking for a way around. Have to see if maybe he can try something here in the right-hander. He is going to try something. He's got it. He crosses 73 over. And we've got some dust kicked up there in that portion. I wonder
if do that occasionally.
I wonder if that could just be left over from cars running off in the S's, but oh boy, Chris Reynolds, he's trying to fight back on that 38, but if these two stay side by side like this, that's just going to allow Logan Williams to have the advantage and clear going into the final right-hander, but Reynolds he's trying to fight, but this is where Logan Williams is going to have the advantage here, and he is going to clear Chris Reynolds for second. Ace Garcia still
He's not going to be too far off of Troxel either. That 38 is really quick. American Motorsports, they brought a good machine here today, the Riverside, and they may end up possibly getting a race trophy, but I don't know. Thomas Troxel versus Logan Williams, that's a solid battle right there, but Troxel did not get through the first corner there too well, and Logan's coming fast.
Boy, yeah, that 38 is definitely quick here. He's catching Thomas very, very quickly. And he's got the fastest lap of the race so far. Well, you know Thomas is probably sweating bullets sitting in that 52 right now with the, not arguably, the fastest car on the racetrack right now. But taking a look further on back, there's Angel Gutierrez still actually kind of on his own there in 5th. We've got some side-by-side back here. Dylan Matthews trying to go after Jay Knapp for, I believe that'll be the 11th spot, because Gutierrez looks like he got by Jay Knapp that time, but Matthews is going to stay tucked in behind the 98, and it looks like he's going to make his move now. Here comes Dylan Matthews, and she's going to easily take that spot from the 98 of Jay Knapp. Up here, we've got Brennan Wilmington right on the gearbox of Luna Lona. Looked to make a move there. Lona saw it coming. But Wilmington's going to try. Runs Luna Lona off the road there. I don't think Lona was anticipating that. Aggressive move by Wilmington there, but they kept it off of each other, and Brennan Wilmington up into 7th. And oh boy.
Definitely a solid race for Brendan Wilmington, but his teammates got an even better race going on right now. Logan Williams, I mean, I think give it a lap here, and he's going to be the race leader. Now, the big thing is, how will the cycle play out? Because, like you said, we're going up to lap 16, a little bit longer than it used to be, too. So you could theoretically go fuel only, and we will see you guys do that. As here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Logan decided not to take that that inside in the corner, so he can have the inside here, and you got a new race leader here at Riverside.
Logan Williams takes the race lead as we come to complete halfway, but Troxel, he's trying to fight back. He's going to dive it in to the initial left-hander. They're going to stay side by side as they go into the S's, but Troxel's going to have to check up a little bit there so he doesn't go off, but Williams takes the lead, but Troxel, he managed to stay on the gearbox, and oh boy, Chris Reynolds, he's caught up to these two now. Could potentially see a 3, maybe even 4-horse race for the race win here. And yeah, Ace Garcia, he's now right back onto the gearbox of Chris Reynolds. And now we've almost got 4 cars under a blanket here.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be under a blanket for too long. That 38's going to start pulling away now that he's got the race lead. He's going from 4th to 1st and past all 3 of those guys behind him. And hey, this is maybe one of the easier places to make a pass, but still, to do that on a road course in the short amount of time that he did, that is impressive. And Logan's in a great position to get this race victory here tonight.
Definitely. He's definitely got the speed, but we'll have to see if he does when it comes down to strategy. Thomas Troxel now falling into the clutches of Chris Reynolds. See, we're battling for the lead earlier. Now it looks like they might potentially go at it for second. Thomas, though. Thomas is trying to reel the 38 back in through the S's. I think he might have done them a little bit better than that 38. And a place where Thomas will definitely have the advantage is down the long straightaway. He'll have the draft off that 38. I don't think we've seen the last of Troxel this race.
Troxel still has a good chance here, and as the tires start to wear out a little bit, which for all the road courses we go to, this is probably one of those places where the tires don't actually mean as much, which is why we might see some guys go fuel only on this last stop to just get out there as quick as they can. Going to be interesting to see if anyone does that, but last year we had Eric Drew in this machine, and now we got Thomas Troxel, so Durrani really stepping up their game with their drivers here, and Troxel definitely a guy who's been in the series a long time, knows what he's doing. So does Logan Williams. Both of these guys up front know what they're doing, and I know they're both thinking about Indy, but right now they're thinking about this race, and yeah, Logan Williams holding on to this race lead right now. They're also going to be thinking about the strategy too, because that's really going to be what determines this race victory.
Yeah, you saw there. I think that 52 of Troxel might be slightly better through the S's than Logan Williams. Looks like Logan Williams might be a little bit quicker throughout all the other parts of the racetrack. Maybe looked to try to make a move there, but just wasn't close enough. But looking further on back, could have a battle between Scuderia Team Velocity teammates as Bradley Bradshaw right to the back end of Luna Lona in the 16. Wonder if he'll potentially try to make a move here. Dylan Matthews looks like, no, he's still in 11th. But here comes your guy, Justin Seidel. He's trying to get by Jay Knapp here.
He hasn't been the best of seasons for our teams so far, but proud of my guy Justin, who won this race back in 2018. It's fun that we get to say that, too. I mean, that was 6 years ago when he beat off Eric Monaco. When Monaco came down the pit lane for an issue, Justin was there, and that was his only win until last year when he won the California 100. So he went 5 years without even getting a win in this series. But great to have him on our team there at Otter Island Motorsports. And, of course, returning Trey Smith as well, who almost won the 2022 championship. Couldn't quite pull it off that season. It was when Brian Rodriguez won it, but did win the Indy 250 that year. Regardless of the fact, I don't think those guys are going to get a win. And, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Oh, hello, Thomas Troxel. He's got the lead back. And he's actually opened up a gap to Logan Williams, so I wonder what happened there.
38 might started to fall off a little bit right there. We saw this, we see this in some races sometimes where a guy will get the race lead, but then as we get later on the run, maybe, that one guy who was out front initially, just laying back, and then the tire wear definitely comes to effect for that guy who made the pass. And I think that may have been what happened with Logan Williams, because he's got Chris Reynolds all over his gearbox now as well, as just like you mentioned, Troxel kind of pulling away to a pretty significant lead at this point.
I wonder if Troxel was potentially just saving his stuff in behind the 38. Williams might have kind of used up his tires a little bit getting past all these guys, but he's trying to keep Thomas Troxel in his sights. But getting closer and closer to that cycle of pit stops and not too further away from the end of the race either. And we still have a race on our hands here out front. But taking a little further back, here we go. Scuderia Team Velocity teammates going at it. I think this is for 8th on track between Bradley Bradshaw and Luna Lona. And I
know Matt's probably a little nervous about this. You don't want to get tangled up here, but both of their drivers top 10. They've been very good this year. Obviously, Bradshaw getting that first win. Gutierrez going to make 3 wide. No chance. Almost made it 3 wide.
Almost made it 3 wide, but decided to back out of it last second. Probably for the better. Decided not to go for it. Still have a little bit ways left in this race, and these two going side by side could potentially open up a door for Gutierrez, and trying to go for it there, but unfortunately Lona had the advantage there in the S's, and it's going to get passed by Dylan Matthews as well. Gutierrez trying to hold on, though. Might have the advantage, and will have the advantage into the right-hander, and it looks like they're still going to be side by side, but it looks like Gutierrez will have the advantage here, and yes, Gutierrez will stay clear of the 59 of Dylan Matthews for the time being. Yeah, back up front. Yeah, Thomas Troxel. He's maintaining that gap to Logan Williams, so yeah, I think maybe Logan just kind of used up his stuff mowing through all these guys, and it's kind of coming to bite him right now.
Yeah, next time by, I think we'll start seeing some of these guys come down the pit lane to top off, because they can make it to the end on this tank of fuel. And that's the thing about this race in particular. Even though the mileage is about the same length as a lot of the other ones, they don't actually burn through the fuel as quick as they do at some of the other road courses. They're not in the gas as often, like accelerating off the corners as much, because it's just such a fast-paced track. So these guys definitely stretch it as far as they can, but you know what? It's a critical stop considering how late in the race it's going to be here, and it's going to be fascinating to see who ends up pulling off. And I wouldn't count out Chris Reynolds either. He's not too far off of these guys, and if something really goofy happens, Ace Garcia is still in line as well.
Yeah, this pit stop is definitely going to make the break, as looks like we might have our first taker. That's the 00 of Christian Vargas. Looks like he's coming off right now. And I guess the big question is going to be, do you want to stretch it out as far as you can, or do you want to try to come in as early as possible? And here come our race leaders. Troxel's in, Williams,
right
Reynolds,
on each
and
other
Garcia. Here comes Olvera and Perez in Wilmington. Wonder if will anybody elect to stay out. Looks like Angel Gutierrez is going to be the first one to try something different. Dylan Matthews, Jay Knapp,
We got a
Skylar
lot of
Taylor.
guys back in there.
A lot of guys staying out. Brad Stover. Zachary Fitzwater, he's also staying out.
So check. Are these guys taking tires here? Are they going fuel? Oh, they're going fuel
They're going
only.
fuel
then that's
only.
not really going to be much of an advantage for those guys staying out. The only advantage is they don't need to take as much fuel. They really just need to come in, top off, and get right out there. So, Williams is going to be right there. Much better exit off the pit lane. I mean, Troxel got out ahead of him, but Troxel didn't get going off onto the racetrack, and now these guys got to be careful because, you can get into it there going up the hill.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Logan Williams got on the power a little bit better than Troxel could, and they were real close going into the right-hander there, but Logan Williams took a little bit of a wider line, lost a little bit of ground to Troxel, but he's still right there and well within a shot of taking the race lead. But looking up here to our guys that stayed out, Angel Gutierrez looks like he's going to come in this time. Dylan Matthews, she's in. Knapp, and it looks like just about everybody else is going to be coming in here on lap number 17. There's Trey Smith, John Stewart, and yeah, everybody else is going to be coming in, but here we go. Troxel slid a little bit wide there. Here comes Logan Williams.
They're going to be side by side with 2 laps to go here. We'll see where Gutierrez ends up filing out. Of course, he was a little ways behind. This will be for the win between Troxel and Logan Williams.
There's Angel Gutierrez coming off right now.
It just didn't work out for those guys, unfortunately, but we got ourselves a good battle on our hands, and Troxel able to hold on to it ahead of that 38.
Whoa.
So, Williams is right there. These are the 2 guys. Now, if they tangle, who's in third? Looks like
It's going to be Ace Garcia.
Still Ace Garcia there. So, he's in position if they tangle, which is possible, how close they are. Maybe take this one away. Hey, we saw it right at the end of the race 6 years ago, and Eric Monaco was coming to the checker flag, had his gearbox issue, or whatever it was. I think he had an oil line go bad in that race. Still, it ain't over till it's over, and this is a race that we've seen in the past where that has been the case. The Troxel's only going to have 1 lap left to hold off Logan Williams, but Williams going to come back on that inside lane.
Williams trying to rally up one final charge, but here they come. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go here at Riverside. Williams right on the gearbox of Thomas Troxel looking for a way around. Took a peek there. Troxel blocks him. But Williams, he's still right there. He's hanging on to the gearbox of Troxel through the S's. Good job by both of them. Oh boy, here we go. Up to the right-hander. Oh, looks like they're both driving it really, really hard right now. Looks to be about equal. And Logan maybe a little bit of a more aggressive entry there. But Troxel might have the drive off here. Logan's went for the entry speed. Troxel went for the exit speed. But here we go, down the long straightaway. Logan Williams is going to be in the draft of Thomas Troxel. He's close enough to make a move. Is he going to go for it in the final corner? He's going to take a peek down the inside. He's got a nose. Here comes Logan Williams to the line. It's going to be side by side. Williams, I think. He got it.
He got it.
Logan Williams.
How do you keep getting all these close finishes?
I have no idea. Wow.
7 1,000ths of a second at a road course.
Oh my goodness.
All you got to do is beat him at the line.
Yep.
That's what Logan Williams did right there. My goodness. That's only 3 1,000ths off of what we had last week. Wow.
Oh my goodness. How on earth does this keep happening?
This is why I gave you the Haas IndyCar series, man. You just you keep on getting these finishes. I mean, you had a dead heat in that Christmas Eve duel race. I mean, you always get the good ones. So, yeah, wow. Congratulations to Logan Williams. That was an earned win right there. He was definitely the faster car, I feel like, and he knew how to get him right there at the end. But, man, if you're Troxel, that's got to hurt because you led the most laps in this race, and you just barely missed out on winning. That's got to hurt for Troxel. That's a 10-point difference, too, so that's a tough one there. That's just the way it goes, the way the cookie crumbles.
definitely got a sting for Thomas Troxel, especially because that's the second time he's been leading going into the final corner and barely just coming up short in these races. But wow, what a race that was, and what a win for that 38 of Logan Williams. But taking a look at your finishing results here from In-N-Out Indy California, Logan Williams barely nabs the win from Thomas Troxel, our second finish in a row that is in the thousandths of a second. But Ace Garcia in the 27, how about that? He's going to nab a podium here. That's really going to
help. Much better than his Cup Series run right now.
That's definitely going to help him a lot in the points, so that's nice to see. And Chris Reynolds coming home with a 4th place finish. And with how they are in points, I think that 4th place finish might just give Chris Reynolds the point lead. Just have to see how things cycle out. But taking a look further on down, Angel Oliveira. Actually, Angel came into this race second in points behind Bradley Bradshaw. And he's going to come on with the top 5 finish.
He's got the points lead.
These points are definitely going to be close coming out of Riverside. 6th is going to be the 5 of Braden Perez. That's nice to see here at one of his home races. Brendan Wilmington's going to nab 7th. Luna Lona 8th. Angel Gutierrez 9th. And Dylan Matthews is going to round out your top 10. But, oh boy, AG, final thoughts. What you think about that?
That's the closest road course finish on the channel. I'm fairly confident. Wow, I mean, you've already had a 4, you've had a 7, you've had a 0. You've had some of the closer finishes. Now, I think part of that, I mean, then again, too, I mean, I've done this race many years in the past and haven't had something like that, but, you know, the fact that this is an equal rating series, I think definitely attributes to the fact that we get these closer finishes, but, my goodness, that you know, I mean, I have it against Logan Williams and Thomas Troxel as well. These are two guys who have been in the series for a long time, who go after it all the time, and it's awesome to see the veteran drivers get something done here today. How about that? Logan Williams, you know, he did it perfectly right there at the end and just got him by a nose at the line here at Riverside. What a finish.
Definitely. He timed that move absolutely pitch perfectly and just barely nabbed the win over Thomas Troxel. But, yeah, what a race that was. And we still have a lot more races to go here in the 2024 Haas IndyCar Series season. But next race, it's going to be the Lenovo Grand Prix of California at the Willow Springs Raceway. Taking a look, that race should potentially be going up on Thursday, March the 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We may move it to Friday.
We'll have to see. I'll let you guys know if we do end up making any changes. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Logan Williams for winning In-N-Out Indy California here at the Riverside International Raceway. Huge thanks to AG for joining me up here in the booth to call this absolutely amazing race. And I will see you all in Willow Springs. Y'all take care and have a good one. Here are your point standings after race 3 on the season.